One of the very best things about living in a city like this is that you get to wake up and look out on the horizon. I don't know if we can get that to focus or not. There we go. And you see mountains.
There's only one book that I've taken with me wherever I've lived. It's small, it has illustrations, and while technically a children's book, it seems just as, if not more fitting, for adults. It's The Little Prince. I first read this book when I was in 11th grade. It was my high school French class, and we were sitting around in a circle on the floor, fumbling our way through the original French. In the first pages, the narrator crash lands his plane in the Sahara Desert, and he happens upon a boy, a little prince. The first thing the little prince says to him is, "Draw me a sheep." So the narrator obliges, gets out pencil and paper, and he draws a sheep. The little prince replies, "This one looks too sick. I need a healthy sheep." So the narrator starts over. He draws, in an attempt to make it a little more robust, some horns. The little prince says, No, that's a ram. What I need is a sheep." So he starts over again. But in his impatience, the narrator simply draws a box, and he shows it to the little prince, and he says, "Here, your sheep is inside." The little prince looks at the box and says, "Yeah, that's exactly the kind of sheep that I wanted." And then he holds the drawing a little closer and says, "Oh, look, he's gone to sleep." I suppose I know deep down that there is nothing so particular or unique about Seattle. Here there's streets, there's homes, there's markets, there's people to populate them just like there is everywhere else in the world. And while every day I'm able to find something to smile and giggle at with glee, like I can't believe that I'm living in this town, or just close my eyes and find a bit of a different kind of peace, the point is that for me, it's a box that I can look at and imagine my sheep inside. When I look up at the mountains out on the horizon, or I go up and I hike to a waterfall, that's merely another way of simply looking at that box and saying, "Hey look, the sheep's gone to sleep." In the first video that I made that I got some flack back in Texas when I mentioned that I wanted to draw a box called Seattle. It's not entirely unreasonable why. If I could whittle down the differences between Dallas and Seattle, it's not just that one is liberal and one is conservative, like so many people both there and here have pointed out to me. If I could dig a little deeper, I'd say that Texas is, in general, rather enchanted with the idea of its own unique and uniform culture. A certain way that we talk, a certain way that we interact with one another, a certain way that we dress, there's a certain way that we worship. It's what makes Texas, Texas. Go out to any country western bar in Texas,
and you'll see 100 men dressed exactly the same way. It's the same tight jeans, the same boots, it's the same pearl snap shirt, it's the same wide-brimmed hat to keep the sun out of your eyes at 11 p.m. indoors. The women, they may vary in the pattern, but it's the same cut. Of course, there's the exact same 2 steps to the dance that you're expected to dance. Texas, you could say it's mythologized, which is all fine and well until you come across somebody who breaks the rules. And you're an outsider, and then you don't fit in. And you were given very specific instructions about what to draw, and you proved that you're not capable of drawing at all. Seattle, on the other hand, loves variety and expression. You make fun of hipsters all you want for a fetishization of the uncommon, and by all means, go ahead. But what I love about this town is its ability to look at anybody's box and say, oh, it's a sheep. Not long ago, I was at the Seattle airport. It's early in the morning, and the security line is stretched farther than the eye can see, and we are just inching along at a snail's pace. A few feet ahead of me is a guy my age. He's got curly hair down to his shoulders. He's got spandex that's just like an explosion of color and pattern on his legs. He's got like hemp sandals on, a fisherman's vest that's just like overflowing contents. And next to him is an elderly woman, probably about upper 70s, I would guess. And she engages him and wants to know just what this is all about. Well, this is going to be good, I think to myself. He's a street musician. Every couple of weeks, a new town, no commitments. He makes his living off of the coins tossed in a bucket at his feet. Here it comes, I think. So there's no way that an elderly woman like this runs into a walking piece of driftwood like this guy is and just kind of lets it slide, at least without one hell of an eye roll. She reaches out and grabs his arm. At this point, I'm like cringing. "Thank you," she says. "You're beautiful." There's a certain kind of grace that can and should be extended to everyone that says, "I don't know what it's like to be you, but it sure as shit isn't what it's like to be me. So I'm cool with however you want to express yourself." Because the alternative, it's ugly. It's a subtle but insistent imperialism to say, "Hey, look, you better get with it and be like me, like the rest of us." We don't have room for the freaks and geeks and quirks and those who dare to dig deeper into the well of personality. There's only one way to draw a sheep. I want to be clear about something for a second. I'm not against culture, not against traditions in and of themselves. Quite the contrary. But the moment that cultures and traditions are placed above individuals instead of serving them, I'm out. Identity as a group and identity as an individual are both important, and there's going to be some inevitable tension there. But what I think is the beauty about The Little Prince is its ability to look with the eyes of a child. And before you know it, you're saying, "What tension?" A fetishization. Fetishization. Fetishization.